Hey, still Jablo here from BALA Systems. In the last video, where we talked about creating the assessment types. So we're still in the process of adding student marks. So we created our assessment types, which are these two. So now the next thing we do is creating the rules. So this is where you create the rules. Right now, if you can try search for the rules here, you're gonna notice that there are no rules you created for this grade. So there are no rules available. So what you need to do now is to create the rules for these assessments. So you come to this add new button. All the time when adding something new, you add it via the add new button. So now we come to this add new button to create the exam rules. So we select the class, which is our class, the grade 5, the section or semester, which is this A, the subjects. So these are the subjects codes. So when you come to this academic here, you're gonna notice we created one for English. This is grade 5 and this is the English. This is the subject code. So we'll be creating this exam rule for this subject English. So you'll notice this list will gonna show only subjects linked to you, only subjects that we are lecturing, not someone else subjects. Even these assessments, you're gonna see only the assessments you created. I hope that one is clear. So you select your assessment here, English. So the moment you select the assessment here, it's gonna bring up this marks distribution. So this is very key. Please, you need to pay attention in this part. This is the critical part in marks entry. So you need to take notes if need be. So the marks grading. So this will be the CAT grading. If you are under CAT, so you select your grading here. It will be created by your registrar. So if you are not sure, please contact your registrar. They'll let you know which grading you'll be using for these subjects. So you create the grading here. So the moment you create the grading, it's gonna bring this total marks, which is 100, the overall pass mark, which is 50. And then you have the passing rule. Passing rule is either overall or individual. So I'm gonna explain the meaning of these two, its difference. So overall, we mean, when we say overall, we mean all these assessments, the exam, test, test 1, test 2, attendance, we'll be using this overall pass mark. Here we have total marks and pass marks. So this passing rule only works under this pass marks row. So when you select overall, you mean all these assessments will be using this passing mark. But if you say individual, that's when these assessments have different pass marks. Meaning you have an exam, maybe pass mark for exam is 50, we have test, maybe pass mark for test is 60, we have test 1, and maybe pass mark for test 1 is 70. So up until you are done creating your assessments. But I think you'll be using overall most of the time. So I'll be using overall even here. So now this is the total marks. Total marks is the total marks contribution. Please pay attention in this part. This part is very, very, very important. We have the exam. So actually what we are asking here is the exam contribute how much in the final mark. So we have your exam, which is 60. So we advise that you start with the exam, which is 60. I think exam will be the same for all of you guys, for all of the modules or subjects in that school. So you enter your 50, and then now these are the other assessments that you will be doing, you will be giving your students. So now this one is up to you. That's how much you are giving each of these ones. But bear in mind, all of them, including the exam, they have to total to 100. Meaning right now, if exam is saying it's 60, this 1, 2, 3, 4, they need to be 40. I hope this one is clear. Let me just explain it once again. You have the assessments you created. Let me just select another assessment here. So you can see you're gonna notice the change here. And maybe say, let me just say it's maths. So the moment you say maths, it's gonna bring this assessment you created under mathematics. So these are the assessments that are being displayed here. Let me just go to the assessment types. These are the assessments that you created. So they'll be displayed down here. So now, if you are creating the rules for this assessment, you start with the exam. You know, everybody knows that exam is 60. So you enter the 60 here. You as the lecturer or you as a teacher, you need to enter the 60 here. That's compulsory. So if you are not sure about the contribution here, you need to contact your head of department or your registrar. They'll be the one assisting you on that part. And once you are done with that, now you can give these two, meaning these two has to equals to 40, and then that will gonna make it 100. Let me just go back to the assessment that we selected earlier, which is the English assessment. So we create it here. It's 60. Give it here. Say it's overall. The moment you say overall, it is gonna disable all these fields here, meaning you won't be able to enter now something here. It's 60. Maybe this one we give it 10. This one we give it 30. Let me just do this. I just want to show you something. If you're gonna notice that if it is gonna happen that you enter this marks and they exceed 100. Let's just enter 20 now. So the moment this marks exceed 100, this message will gonna be displayed. Mark distribution is wrong, not match with total marks, which is this total marks. So you need to make sure that all these contributions, they need to sum up to 100. I hope that one is clear. So you enter 60 here. The exam one, please guys, start with it. It's compulsory. So you need to enter. It's 60, and then you come with this test. Maybe test is 10. So now you have 70. Test one maybe is 10, and now you have an 80. Test two still is 10, or maybe it's 15. And now you have something like, and now for attendance, you will have 5. So let's calculate, let's make sure this sum up to 100. We have 60, 10, this is 80, okay? 60 plus 10, that's 70 plus 10, that's 80, plus 15, that's 95, plus 5, that's 100. We done creating this exam rule. So we click this add button, and this message will be displayed. New exam rule added. So now let's create another rule. We done with the English one, so we create another one for another subject. Let's say the mathematics one. This one, the one that we created, is under maths. So let's check the code. So you need to know the subject's codes. Grade 5. So it's this one. This is the code 102. The assessment, it's maths. We'll be using this with the overall. So this one is 60, as I described earlier. And this is test one. 20, 20. You done. And then you add. And then once you are done adding your exam rules, now is the time to add the student marks. So let's just see what we have just added in the system. Under rules, you pick the class. It's grade 5. Section A. Rule for English assessment. You have your rules now here. So if you want to see the other one, it's grade 5. A. Maths. So you have the other rules here. So you need to check this part first before adding student marks, just to make sure everything is set correctly. This is very, very, very important. This is very, 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 very crucial. So please, please, guys, you need to take note of this one. Before adding the student marks, you need to make sure this part is set correct. So what you look at in this part is the subject, the grading, and then now the marks distribution. Under this row total marks, you need to make sure that the 60 is the contribution for exam, 20 is the contribution for test 1, and then 20 is the contribution for test 2. And then now you have the total marks and then the passing mark here. So if something is wrong here, you come to this edit part. You edit your information. I hope that one is clear. So once you are done now, then now we are free to add student marks to the system. So let's go to the process of adding student marks. You come to this part, marks and results, and then you select marks. Under marks, we have these filters. So these filters will be used when you have already added student marks in the system. So let's say we are searching for student marks you entered under grade 5, of which we didn't enter N, but let's just check. So you enter the academic year, the class, the semester, and the subject, and then now the assessment, which is English, and then you get the marks. So you're gonna notice we don't have any marks available for this subject. So we need to add these student marks. Let me just go back far quickly. So we under this page, the add marks page. So when adding new marks, you come to this part, to this button, add new marks. This is where you add new marks. And then now you need to know, before adding marks, you need to know which academic year you want to add that marks for. So that's 2021. So you're gonna select the academic year from this drop down. This academic year will be added by your registrar. So let's just select this one, 2022, of which I don't think we do have students here, but let's just go through with it. So you can see we have 101, that's English, get marks, entry marks. So there's no student left for entry marks here. So meaning the class you selected doesn't have students. So you need to make sure you select proper year, We have 2021, we have grade 5, we pick the section or semester, and then we pick the module, and then now we pick the assessment, and then entry marks. You click in this entry marks. The moment you enter, you click this entry marks, it's gonna bring all the students in that class. As you can see here, all the students in that class, only the students that are doing those subjects you have selected. So right now you have the list of the student. This would be the student name down here, and then the student number down here. And then now, as you can see, you have the marks, the assessment you created earlier under this part. Under this part, the only thing you need to do is to enter the marks. If the student under exam, the student maybe got a 870, this one in test, or maybe you only have exam marks. Okay, man, I don't think it's possible you can have exam marks only if you don't have the other ones. So if you do have all the marks available, you can just enter those marks here. And maybe in test, this guy got a 45. So you're gonna notice here you enter the raw marks. No calculation done, nothing you did. You just enter the raw marks. You make sure of that. Here you enter the raw marks, the marks the student got. You do not calculate NSCA, anything, nothing you calculate. The system is gonna do that for you. So for test 1 maybe it's a 30, test 2 it's a 80, then attendance the student maybe got a 10. You enter 40, maybe. Guys, I want to enter all these marks here. Maybe a 90. So if you don't have all the marks for this assessment, you can just enter only the ones you have, and then you're gonna edit the others later. So once you are done entering the student marks, and once you are done, you enter all the student marks, and then once you are done, you click this save all marks button. Once you are done, click save all marks button. That's it. Assessment marks added successful. Now you have your marks. If you do have others, you can do. But now let's go and check the marks we added in the system. So you check the marks by coming to these marks. The marks we entered was for academic year 2021, class, that grade, that's grade 5, section, that's A, subject, that's 101, assessment, that's English assessment. And then we get the marks. Now we do have the marks. So as you can see, the system did all the heavy weight for you. It did all the calculations. This student under exam he got 70, test they got 45, test 3 got 30, test 2 80, and then attendance. And then now the system calculated the final mark, which is 62 from all these mark distribute from all these marks the student got. And then the system will give this student a grade and then the point. So that's it. That's the process of adding student marks. And then as a lecturer, you are done adding marks. Nothing else is required from you unless you need to edit some marks here. So if you want to edit some marks here, you come to this edit button. And then you edit the marks. It's a 90. You update. And then let's check grade 5. Actually, I'm not sure. I just forgot which student I've edited, but you're gonna see here. I think it's this student. So we updated these marks, and then now you have the marks. Or maybe this student was absent for all this assessment. You just click here, and then you're done. Let's check. And then get marks. So if a student was absent for an exam, this is how it's gonna display here. So the present means the student was present for these assessments. So let's say maybe you try to attempt you attempt to add these student marks again. Maybe you forgot that you already added these marks. It's a say enter marks. So this message will be displayed. There is no student left for entry marks. So once you have added the student marks for an assessment, you won't be able to add those student marks again. I hope that one is clear. But let's say maybe there are so many things that are wrong with these student marks. Maybe you did so many mistakes. Then what do you do? Let's go. Maybe these are not the correct marks you entered. So what you need to do is to delete these student marks. And please, guys, let me just explain this part. This edit part and this delete part, you will be able to edit or delete student marks as a lecturer only if when those student marks have not been published. So once the marks are published, you won't be able to edit these student marks unless you get authority from your superiors. So I hope that one is clear. So if maybe you want to delete these student marks, you just go to this delete marks. You select the academic here. Here, it will be displayed here. You enter the subject, the section, the subject name, and then the assessment type. And then you're done. You delete the student marks, and then the student marks will be gone. You won't be, and now you can be able to add those student marks again. I hope that one is clear. So first thing first, before adding student marks, you come to assessment. Before coming to assessment, you check if all your subjects or modules are linked to you under this link subject list. You check here. You check by name, by the lecturer name here. Just make sure that all your subjects are listed here. And then now you go to assessment, you create the type. You create all the marks assessment types. And once you're done, you create the rules. And then once you're done creating the rules, you create the marks. And then you're done. That's it. The moment, once you have added these marks here, they just go straight to the relevant users that will be using this student marks. So there is no need for you to submit them anywhere else. You just add these student marks and then you're done. So with these assessments, you can create them once, and if you'll be using the same assessment for years to come, there'll be no need for you to create new ones. You'll just come to this marks entry, you enter marks, and then you're done. I hope everything's clear. That will be it, guys, for this video. If you have anything to say, maybe you have any comment or you want to ask something, please just comment below. We'll get back to you as soon as possible. And please, guys, before you leave, please like our video, and most importantly, please subscribe to our channel so that you can get notified whenever we upload new videos. Bye guys, keep in touch. Thanks very much.